Welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond. I'm joined today by Kyle. Kyle, how the fuck we doing?
I don't get why you say I'm joined today. I'm always fucking here.
He's
Well,
always
maybe.
here, apart from one day.
Hey, I had an eye problem. Okay, but I'm
Yes,
I'm good as new.
yes.
Yeah, thanks for that thumbnail, by the way.
It's a great thumbnail. The phone chose it, not me. Anyway,
Yeah,
Kyle, today is a great day because
it's a great evening.
the great evening because the gods over at Warner Brothers wanted to deflect some negative stuff that David Zaslav's getting because of him not paying his writers, and they've just dropped a fucking incredible trailer for Dune Part 2. Um, Kyle's just watched it. He hasn't said anything to me about it. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm coming off it fresh. I need to watch that trailer again. There was so much in it. It didn't really obviously it didn't really reveal anything about the movie, which is it's one of those trailers I just want to watch and watch and watch. It's not like
Yeah, I've watched it
it's not
like
like I'm
8 times already.
you lucky bastard. I ain't had time to, but it's it's not like other trailers, like say like a Marvel movie. Like me, I watched No Way Home trailer over and over again. I know I mentioned that pretty much in here enough for every video we talk about. It's my favorite film of all time. Um, Hands down, it did everything perfect. Anyways, I watched that movie several times. I've not really done that for another trailer. Maybe like the Avengers.
Yeah.
Um, But with this, it felt like a mini movie, almost in a sense. It was edited really, really like just it was the shit.
This was a perfect trailer.
And you know what? I know I have not really said this, but I can't lie. I really I think he's a great actor. I didn't see him being
Paul
the
Atreides,
yeah
Timothy
what's
Chalamet.
his Yeah, he was in Interstellar. I heard his scenes got cut into that, cut out of that, which was a bit disappointed. I know he's the main, well, he's in the first movie and he's in something else. He was in that Netflix film they brought out where the asteroid hits and there's
You
loads
don't
of
look up.
yeah. I didn't I stopped watching that movie before he got in it, but I saw clips of when he was in it and I thought he's fucking hilarious. Like
Tim-
he's great.
Timothy
Um,
Chalamet is great.
I think he's phenomenal. The problem I had was could he take on a role like this where he's become more of a leader thing? It didn't click for me as much I thought in the first film, but that's fine. It's not meant to show that.
Yeah.
Obviously the first trailer for Dune came out. It was good. It's just like it felt more like a tease than a trailer. In this trailer, though, I can see it now. I can
Yeah.
see why he's going to be the head
Well,
of this.
yeah. Well, even when he's speaking to like Zendaya's character Jenny, and he's like, he seems a little bit manipulative, and he's like, "Do you trust me?"
Mm-hmm.
You almost can't trust what he's saying. But the cast in this is fantastic. So Elvis came out last year with Austin Butler. He's plays the Harkonnen who is in most of them black and white scenes in the trailer. You know, with the two swords things. He's completely unrecognizable. Zendaya's back, obviously. Timothy Chalamet, Josh Brolin, Florence Pugh is going to be in this one. She is going to play the Princess of the Universe. Rebecca Ferguson.
I don't want to know who they are because I'm completely new to the whole
Right.
Dune franchise. Um, I don't want anything of it. I know there's been previous movies and I've tried to stay clear of it.
I
Um,
haven't
I'm,
seen it, but that first movie is
I'm gonna have to go, and it sounds a bit weird. This I'm gonna have to go incognito when I watch the Dune trailer again. Because I'm gonna watch it a couple more times. Um, because I don't want anything Dune related popping up
yeah.
until this is concluded. I want to enjoy this for what it is, and then get into all the actual lore of the books and the previous movies. I'll probably watch the previous movies as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Now this is supposed to be. Denis Villeneuve wants to do a trilogy, and obviously they want to do Dune 3, Dune Messiah, which is based on the second book, but it's a
yeah,
much smaller book. So do you know what? First one came out net pandemic. After this trailer, I see this one doing well.
Oh yeah.
I see it
Oh
doing well
yeah.
because it did. The first one did well while it was released on HBO Max the day it came out. So I do see this one doing well.
Yeah, because I
But
remember we went to cinema. I mean, I had the same eye problem. It's quite funny that this has happened. I had the same eye problem. It wasn't as severe. Hopefully now I've gone through the worst of it and it's fucked off. I genuinely do. I had the same eye thing. Callum was there we're coming up to it, and I was off work. Um, and I was only off work like a couple, not as long as I've been with this currently. It's gone away now, but I remember just like I want to see this film. It really does interest me,
yeah,
and I couldn't let Callum down. I felt bad if I said I can't do it because I genuinely couldn't see properly. I was like that in cinema, especially with a movie like Dune with all the bright,
oh yeah,
landscapes. I was like that.
yeah, yeah,
I looked like I was trying to comprehend what were going on. It was just my eyes were really in a bad shape. So quite funny that this happened, at the
yeah,
same time. Um, but from what I watched, even though I could only watch it with like barely one eye, I loved it. I loved it.
yeah.
I was I was really like frustrated that we didn't get to see it again in the cinema in IMAX. Um,
Have you watched it since?
oh yeah. I think I've seen it twice now
I've
since.
seen it. I've seen it one more time since, and that was like last year. But I don't want to watch it again anytime soon because if we do a double feature, and they do
Yeah,
show it again, I don't want to ruin that for myself.
yeah, no, don't do it. IMAX is the way to go. They better show that movie in a double feature IMAX because
Yeah.
it's IMAX. Like it's a prime example. As much as I love the Marvel movies, and I know a lot of them are shot in that, this is an IMAX movie
Yes.
through and through. Um, so yeah, no, like I said, the trailer was phenomenal. If you haven't seen the first one, please go watch it in the best screen you've got, best speakers you've got.
Yeah.
Don't spoil yourself with the story because you can be like me and be completely new to this whole franchise. It's like a new Star Wars, but
Well,
it's got history.
technically it's the original Star Wars.
Well, there you go.
This is
Yeah,
what Star
exactly. There
Wars
you
is
go.
based off. Um,
But there's one thing that I remember you saying to me before we were going to see it. It was when the reviewers were saying, "Oh, it's like Game of Thrones but in space kind of thing." I was
yes.
like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
I
It's
love
Space
that."
Game of Thrones.
It is, but it's something.
Better.
It's not. It's some. Yeah, that's the best way I
And
can put it. It's
Game
better.
of Thrones is based off Dune. Most things are based off Dune because it's a credit to Frank Herbert because they're incredible books. They
Yeah.
really are.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
but I've got to say, my favourite line from the trailer is definitely the end one, where he says, It's something like you only have true control over something if you have the power to destroy it." And I was just like, and
I
that,
I'm gonna I'm gonna say this real quick as well. I know you're getting into the lines of it. Me, I'm a VFX. VFX. Like I look at VFX a lot. The VFX, we didn't see much of it in the fighting, but the little bit where we see Zendaya
yeah,
as character, and she does the exact same pose.
pose that
Um,
Paul did in the vision of from the
yeah,
first
yeah.
film. Yeah,
It looks substantial. Just from the tiny little clip, it looks substantially much better. It looked real. In the first movie, it looked like CGI, like a
yeah, because
cinematic.
that definitely wasn't shot on location or anything. That was definitely just made up at the spot.
Yeah,
But they had time to shoot it now.
yeah.
But yeah, no. Timothée Chalamet, great. Zendaya, great. Austin Butler, great. Florence Pugh, great. Christopher Walken,
I was gonna say,
the little bits that he had in the trailer, he was great.
I'm
Your
so
father
excited to
was a
see
weak
Christopher
man.
Walken. I've not really seen him in much. He's been more of a comedy guy to me.
Yeah,
There was a movie that came out years ago, Balls of Fury. The main guy who's in that is he's like the second guy. He's like um, in the Fantastic Beast movies. I didn't really like them. I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I didn't like those movies personally. I just didn't enjoy them. I probably might watch the one with Mads Mikkelsen because I'm a sucker for that guy. Um, we'll get into that into the Indiana Jones review. But for me, it was just seeing him doing a more serious role because like the guy, like even though he played like a comedy character in that movie, you know, that Balls of Fury movie years ago, I could see the potential of like, oh my god, like this guy's actually kind of cool. Like he could play
Yeah.
like a really cool character. So I'm glad that I didn't even know he was in this film. This is a complete surprise to me. So
They've assembled a quality cast again. Like, look at the cast for the first one. You know, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa. You know, pretty much the same people again.
I'll say this: a lot of movies these days they cast really well-known actors, and they're really good in their own right. Don't get me wrong, but with this, it feels like they've casted actors that it's like Oppenheimer. They've not casted them for the sake of being, you know, well-known, well-established actors. They you know, it's very defined on why they've chosen them for these characters. So that's, you know, I didn't get that vibe at all from this movie. I'm just really
Well,
really
yeah,
excited.
like, this isn't. You know, people go do a Star Wars film because they want to be in a Star Wars film. People go do Dune because they want to work with Denis Villeneuve. That's the difference. Um, you know, not shitting on Star Wars. I love Star Wars. You know, I grew up on Star Wars and Indiana Jones. I'll always say that.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, Star Wars is good in its own right. Yeah, it has its elements of but what? Let's be real. What fucking movie doesn't? You
Yeah,
know, like what movie doesn't take ideas from other movies or other ideas? Um, you know, I hate saying this word, but it is genuinely what it is. You can build your own universe based off of whatever, and you know, no,
yeah,
but even like original ideas. When it comes to anything, someone's always going to say, "Oh, you copied this, you copied that." So what if it's, you know, if it takes elements of other movies? Um,
yeah.
you know, I still love Star Wars and I love Dune. Why can't I love both? What's the problem with that? There isn't.
There's no problem with that at all. Another thing, we're actually finally going to get to see. Looks like we're finally going to get to see Drax versus Thanos with Josh
Eh,
Brolin versus Dave Bautista. So
I can't wait to see more Batista. He's really
I,
grown
he,
on me a
do you know,
lot.
I'll always say this: out of the wrestling free, you know, the wrestling free. I didn't watch wrestling when I was growing up. John Cena, The Rock, and Batista. If you'd have told me, you know, after Guardians won, that Batista was going to be the better actor out of the three of them, I'd have told you to fuck off. And John Cena would have been the funniest. I wouldn't have believed you. But John Cena's definitely the funniest. Batista's definitely the best, you know, actor, like acting wise. And The Rock is just more of a movie star.
I like The Rock. Don't get me
I
wrong.
like The Rock.
I don't like the way he's gone about with. I get it. It felt like more of a bit of a passion project when it came to Black Adam. I understand that.
Nah, it's not
It was
passionate.
just done in a very uh blinded way. It was very you know, I respect The Rock so as much as I don't like Black Adam. I respect The Rock enough so much that he brought back Henry Cavill. You
Yeah,
can't deny that you can't not give the guy respect for bringing back the Superman we all know we didn't get a real good chance with. So, and I enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy the Rock. He's entertaining. I love seeing him
yeah,
on movies.
he is
You know,
entertaining.
so you know, in their own right, all three of them have become very successful. Um, all
Yeah,
phenomenal in their own right. And you know, I feel like Batista hasn't gotten as much love. I know he's been more of like a side character in movies and stuff. But fucking hell, man! Like in Guardians 3, like I didn't, you know, obviously I had a tear coming down for certain scenes with Rocket and stuff. I was I was in tears the first, even the second time, even the third time
every
when
time
he's saying goodbye to Mantis.
when he say yeah,
I was in tears, man. Like he wow.
he is a great emotional actor. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to get to come out a lot in this film. Uh, Now, if this trailer came out at the beginning of this year,
I should also say he's really good at making monkey noises.
really good at making monkey noises. Beep, boop, bop, bop. But yeah, if this trailer came out at the beginning, or let's say this trailer came out on New Year's Eve last year, just before we came into 2023, Dune Part 2 would have been my most anticipated film of the year, not Guardians. So, wow. And we know how good them Guardians trailers was as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think this has been the best trailer of the year so far we've gotten as well. So, what do you think the trailers like? Where would you rank it for trailers of the year? Good, bad.
I need to watch it again before I
Yeah,
rank it. I think that's fair to say. Because let's be honest, the Guardians 3 trailer. I don't want to get copyrighted.
that was that not that one came out in last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying trailer wise. Oh, well, yeah, okay, fine. It came out last year, but trailer wise, speaking of, because
Yeah,
the movie came out this year, trailer wise, this year, okay. If we're talking about this year only, and we're not counting that trailer that was out last year for Guardians 3, then yeah, this is definitely the trailer of the year so far.
100%.
I don't think it'll get topped, to be honest. It really captures you. It really does its own thing. It really grips you. Whereas like the first trailers were very, I can't lie. I thought the first trailer was a little bit. It was a tease.
Yeah, it
It
definitely
was
was a
just.
tease, and this.
It just felt like they were saying there's a part two coming. Here it is. Now we're seeing this is the movie and it's gonna
Oh
be.
yeah, they've opened the floodgates now, and it's like get excited.
But but that's not to scare away any people that are refusing to watch it for spoilers. Um, there's nothing like that. It's like
Yeah.
you know, like a Star Wars trailer that they did for the sequel trilogy. I can't lie, the sequel trilogy wasn't perfect, but their trailers were phenomenal,
Oh, that
especially for
first
Force Awakens.
trailer for The Force Awakens. No, not the
Exactly.
first trailer. Well, the first
It
trailer were
was.
good, but like the one that came out before a month before the film came out, and it's got Kylo Ren stood in front of the Starkiller base laser splitting off, and he's got
Yeah, yeah.
the monologue when he's speaking to Darth Vader. And he's like, "Nothing will stand in our way."
It's better than that
Yeah,
because it tells a little story in the trailer, but it doesn't tell it. It doesn't spoil or tell anything about what's going on in the film. You just know that this is big.
yeah, no, definitely. Anyway, Doom Part 2 comes out on November 3rd of 2023. So
Hmm.
I'm
We've got
pumped.
a busy year. Well,
Ca-
busy end of the year.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Kyle's pumped. You know, that's going to have to compete with Craven. You know, it comes out just after Craven. So, anyway,
You
let's,
motherfucker.
let's, uh, let's go to our next topic. Ralph Boner himself, Evan Peters. Apparently, he's going to be joining Jared Leto in Tron 3. Now, I'm going to hand this over to you right away because you are a big Tron fan. So, what do you think about adding Evan Peters to the cast?
So, I can't lie, I didn't know if Jared Leto was gonna still be in the third Tron movie. Because I know he was meant to, he was in I'm gonna say Cyberpunk. He was in Blade Runner, and I know he was supposed to be in something else, and then we heard about Jared Leto being in part three of the Tron movies. It doesn't feel like it's part one, part two. It feels like a whole, you know, it feels like something fresh, but it's still technically a
Yeah,
sequel. So with Jared Leto still obviously being in this film, I'm glad because Jared Leto can nail this. He was great in his very subtle and very, I'd say not minimal, but in his small role in Blade Runner.
oh,
Um,
he's great in Blade Runner.
I I I I spoke to someone in work about the first Suicide. Well, you know, the as we agree, me and you're entitled to your own opinion. Absolutely fine. If you enjoy the film, I'm happy for you. I just think it's a bad movie. The Suicide Squad film, the Joker in that, I think it wasn't. it was a good idea. I just don't think it was executed that well. I think it's because a lot of his scenes were cut, obviously, as well. That probably didn't play a good part. So I know in Tron, obviously Tron Legacy, I went to go see that in cinema. I thought it was phenomenal. The visuals on it. Um, we didn't get much on it. We got an animated show. We got a game that was based on before it. Evan Peters, man. Now you're just trying to like put the cherry on top. I'm already excited for this film. It was even more excited when Jared Leto was tied to it.
Because it's mobbing time.
Because it is Morbin time. It is Tron time. And it is Ralph Boner time apparently. Get your Mr. Boners out. For I know you didn't I don't know if you I know you started watching it but it wasn't really a thing.
Dharma.
Jeffrey Dahmer recreation
Could not get
thing.
past that first episode.
Fair enough. I just watched it. I just kept watching it. I was just kind of,
Oh, no doubt he's great in it from what I saw. So
he is phenomenal. He's scary, phenomenal. Evan Peters, I've always respected. I thought he was great as Quicksilver. That's not to discredit Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver in the MCU side, but he was just great in his own right. And again, in the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, he just nailed that really creepy, very scary personality. So he can do everything, man. He can do the comedy, he can do the real and serious. So him being tied to this, it's just the cherry on top, really.
well, there's nothing wrong with adding talent at all. Nothing wrong with adding talent. And Evan Peters is a very talented actor. Do you think maybe they're tapping him for maybe like a villain role? Or
it would, after Jeffrey Dahmer, it would make sense.
well, he's got a big role in American Horror Story as well, where he plays.
I've not watched
that's like an anthology, and he does play questionable characters in that as well.
See, I think maybe I'm wrong then when I see Evan Peters as being like the good guy in movies. Maybe he's more of a bad guy and a questionable character.
He's done it both. He's done both. Like I say.
Yeah, no,
he's
also
great as Quicksilver.
So I think it would be interesting to see him as playing as the bad guy. I don't know. It's a very interesting question actually. So if you haven't seen the original Tron movie, I know it's a bit jarring a little bit at first seeing these VFX, but just watch it and it's like, how the fuck did they actually do that? It's actually quite baffling. And you come to terms with it really quick. I saw Tron Legacy. I thought that movie, like as a kid, I thought it was great. I watched it again. It's pretty good. Visually, it's fucking phenomenal. I know the de-aging wasn't the best. I know, like,
Jeff
looking
Bridges,
at it.
yeah.
But when I watched that one as a kid, I didn't know that. I didn't notice it at all. Might just be me. I might have been blindsided, but I genuinely didn't notice it. It was certainly better than the Luke Skywalker, I think. They did it in Mandalorian. But when I watched the original film, for some reason I found it a bit more compelling. It just gripped me a bit more.
Yeah.
And it is my favourite out of the two. So
yeah, no. I think
yeah.
the big thing that goes unnoticed with Tron Legacy, that the opening to that film is fantastic. On the the base jump and the motorcycle chase, it's all great.
I like that stuff. I just think it didn't make sense in the long run.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Visually, I thought visually they do something to the standard of the original, where it's so breathtaking and unbelievable. Like I still watch. I can watch both movies, and I think their visuals are breathtaking. They've just got something about them that's just like it takes a bit to get in, and it needs to when it sinks in, it's like it's wow, it's amazing. Even though like the light cycles are just basically like PNGs of the same image, but it's the concept of the idea of it. It
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of Ralph McQuarrie's, obviously the original Star Wars. That's not to say the Star Wars visuals are bad in any way. It just I feel like I tie more that into that, whereas like Star Wars kind of did its own thing, and it sits still well today. Whereas like the Tron visual, it's very the original Tron theory visuals is very like back then, but it's still visually still interesting.
Yeah.
Story wise, I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't, because it feels like they ended things there, but then after the second film came out, there was the game that came out alongside it, and it was before it, which was it was okay. I remember seeing an image of I feel bad now because I've forgotten his name. He's a really good actor. I've forgotten his name. The main
In
guy, Sam, who plays Jeff Bridges' son, Kevin Flynn.
Jared Headlord, is it? Jarrett Headlord, something like that. Yeah.
I thought. I know his name's Sam. So in that I saw an image, and I think it was supposed to be part of like a marketing thing that they didn't actually release.
Garrett Headlord.
Okay, I think there was there is an image, and I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be something like a marketing tease for the third movie.
Yeah.
It
Sorry.
was it was supposed to be a marketing tease for the third movie. But obviously the third movie of that didn't happen. The sequel to that movie didn't happen. Where it says Kevin Flynn lives. So I'm really intrigued by what they do in this third movie. I know that you like the films. I'm fucking excited
I
for
know,
these
like I say,
movies.
I know you love them. My dad is actually a massive Tron fan, and
Yeah, really.
it's one thing he didn't manage to get me onto when I was younger. He got me on Star Wars and he got me onto Indiana Jones, but he didn't really. I think I was a bit too old when he tried it with me. Sounds a bit weird, though, doesn't it? But yeah, no, I think it was. Yeah, it was not. I don't want to say past my time, but it was at a time in my life when I didn't really care about films. So, yeah, but I'm excited they're adding Evan Peters. No matter what role he plays, he'll do a good job at it.
This is the thing. It goes back to our first topic, the Dune trailer. It doesn't feel like they're adding him for the sake of oh he's a big actor now. It will like this guy can do things. This guy can act.
Yeah,
This guy can play what you need. So yeah, I'm stoked for this film. I'm hoping it finally opens the floodgates for the Tron universe, because like I don't feel like it's been really expanded upon, and it has so much potential to be a massive franchise.
or do you think it'll
Um,
come out and then it'll be another 15 years before we get another one?
if that's the case, man, if that's the case, I'm all for it. If it's a Tron edition, tradition edition, I'm all for it. I will watch the film if it comes out 20 years in the future. If it comes out, if they're doing every 15 years, I will watch it over and over.
Yeah. Anyway, so Evan Peters is joining Jared Leto in the new Tron. I'm pretty sure it's called Tron Ares, something like that. But anyway, let's go to two films that are going to be coming out right next to each other next month. Barbie vs Oppenheimer. Now, these are both the numbers that they're tracking for opening weekend. Oppenheimer's tracking for 40 million. Barbie's tracking for an 80 million. That's not that shocking, I don't think. I feel like more people are going to go see Barbie than who would see Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer looks like a very bleak film. It's a bleak subject matter, I'd say. So
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Not to counter what you're saying. Well, to counter what you're saying, but not to counter if there's an argument there. What I'm trying to say is look at Netflix. Netflix thrives on like murder mysteries.
yeah,
So
but that's
in
when
this thing,
perverts are at home alone.
yeah, but this is still quite a bleak and a real thing. So it's not like a. I feel like personally, I know I'm looking at the numbers here, 80 and 40. I think I think maybe I think Barbie will even hit 90. It wouldn't surprise me. But I do think Oppenheimer's going to sit at the 50-60.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say. I think they're both gonna hit about 60.
I think Barbie will hit higher than Oppenheimer, hands down.
The one
But I
thing that
still think
Oppenheimer's got
Oppenheimer
going
will
for it
hit
is
high.
Oppenheimer's got all the IMAX theaters, all of them, for its release for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but in a way that's not really at the same time. People when they're booking a ticket and they see that Oppenheimer is an IMAX and it's like the last good seats, but it's an IMAX and it costs a bit more. People won't will like, oh, I'm not paying that much to watch a movie in the cinema.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that is the reality of it. That is the real thing. I think if a film is in IMAX and it's shot for IMAX, you should go see it in IMAX, and you know it's worth it. You know you really benefit from the visual aspect of it. You'll be because it's like when you know um I saw Dune at home on my 4K TV. It was not the same as seeing it
no,
in
I
and we
watched it on
we
that.
saw it
Not the same.
exactly. Your TV is fucking huge. It's the best quality I've ever seen in a TV, but it wasn't IMAX. Neither is a normal cinema screen. We saw The Flash.
Yeah, because there were no IMAX the night it opened.
Yeah. Well, it was, but it got cancelled on us. They
Yeah,
cancelled that.
they took all the IMAX showings off. So
And we went to go see it in the normal. It was fine. It was kind of cool. It felt like a little bit retro in a weird way, like kind of vintage. And then when we went to go see it in IMAX, I visually I enjoyed it a lot much better. Like it would just
yeah,
it looked better. I remember I told obviously my friend at work about going to see I can't remember what film it was, but it was shot in IMAX, and he was like, "Nah, I don't know if I will. Just do it. Trust me, just do it." And he did. Now he only
never gone
watches
back.
IMAX.
Yeah,
Never gone back. Same as us. Same as us. I thought the exact same thing when when you used to get me into IMAX. Can't watch it without IMAX.
yeah, no, it's a superior form for watching it, definitely. But then again, I don't think Barbie is a film that you're gonna need to see in IMAX.
No,
I
no.
feel like,
I mean, it'd be cool to see, but I don't think it's needed.
yeah. Do I want more Margot Robbie in IMAX? Of course I do. But
So
that's
I'm on the other side here. I want to see
you
more Ryan Gosling in IMAX.
more Ryan Gosling in IMAX. Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I don't think these numbers are shocking. I think if Barbie does manage to pull 80 million, that's a massive win for it, and it goes more in the favour of, Margot Robbie as a movie star, what she's able to sell. So, yeah, she can bring that type of number to a film. That's great. On the other side, obviously I was gonna say the Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, Nolan's next film. That's why I had Dark Knight on the mind. Everyone loves a Nolan film. It's just we can't judge Nolan off his last film that came out because that was in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, that was the height of it, and it was also wasn't it released in streaming?
No,
Was it not?
just in cinema, but it was when
What
right in the middle of COVID when no one were doing anything. That was the
Why
first film we saw in the cinema.
what was the thing that made him go away from
Warner
Why?
Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, the day and date release stuff didn't affect
Oh, it
any of
really.
his films, but he
Oh.
wasn't a fan of it in general.
Yeah, because I remember hearing about it and I didn't quite understand it. I still don't understand it to today. I'm like,
Yeah, he says well, it's somewhat along the lines of you go from working for the best movie studio to working for the worst streaming service.
yeah, I actually remember that
So
quote that came out. Quite sad, but actually quite depressing.
yeah, but anyway, if these films manage to do this on their weekend they come out, they're both going up against each other, but I think they'll both be relatively successful. I think Oppenheimer will make what it needs to make, and Barbie will just be fun, and people will.
I mean, it's Barbie. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that they release in cinema these days, and it does make money. People go out and see it. Even on streaming services, they've become more broad in their approach. I feel like, you know, old style films. That's why Star Wars was really good. Old style, older films. I'm not saying old style. I'm saying old style is now in this modern day and age. In 30 years, this is all going to be old style. So what I mean for current old style is, in the movie world is it it changes a lot. It changes how people go to see movies. Um, this now, I feel like we're in a very changeable state. And what I mean by that is like we're getting into multiversal stuff, like into the superhero stuff. We've had superhero movies obviously before. Like there's an argument there that they're very all much the same. I can argue against that. I think there's a lot of superhero movies that do really their own thing and they have their own style, and it is a genre. Do you know what I mean? It's fair to say superhero movies are a genre. You can't
Yeah,
argue that. Yeah, they'll all have a good guy and a bad guy they fight at the end, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't, and so it's changing again. People are out there. People are going to see these movies. If you released a Barbie movie in 2007, I don't think it would have done well. I don't think it would have done well that much. It would have been a run of the mill. The way they made it, I don't think it would have done well. So that's just my thought on how it's going on. People are gonna go see this movie,
yeah,
but I hope people go see Oppenheimer as well because again for me, I'm really excited. It's my second. It's not my no sorry. Dune's my second. This is my number one anticipated.
is
Remember
it?
when? Do you remember? Do you remember? Well, obviously. Do you remember when the first trailer came out?
Oh mate,
Well,
yeah,
yeah. I was over the moon. I was like, this is something different because it's very real and it's interesting.
yeah, no, it the stuff with J. Robert Oppenheimer is all interesting, and I can't wait to see the film. I hope they both do well on a opening weekend. I hope they both make the money they deserve to make.
We will be going to see one after the other.
Yes, definitely,
We spoke about this just before the show, and it was like, no, we're doing this.
definitely
Um,
one after another. It's just
yeah.
which one first. All depends on times, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's whatever our cinema picks. We refuse to go to any other cinema. We've stayed dedicated to ours all these years. You know what I mean? Because it has the IMAX screen we want. It's local to us. So yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just see what they're rocking. Either or, it won't be up to us.
yeah.
But we will see them both
Yes,
on the
yes,
same day.
yes. Yes, we will. And I'm definitely looking forward to Barbie more. Anyway,
We're gonna be wearing suits.
yes,
He,
big suits.
so a little known fact here. Callum's a massive Barbie fan. No,
Look at all the Barbies behind me.
But Callum did say to me that we have to order some I Love Ken pink t-shirts from Amazon. Also, we should probably invest in that. Finding like a place that does t-shirts saying and get a printing I Love Ken. It's gonna sell like fucking hotcakes.
Hotcakes.
Remember, do you remember what was that film that came out and they all dressed up for it in
Minions.
suits? Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Anyway, we're a bit late to this. Secret Invasion came out yesterday. We saw it yesterday morning. Um, First things first. This episode is an improvement on the first. I I don't think we're gonna do spoilers here though, Kyle. No, we're gonna do spoilers. We're gonna do spoilers because it's
We'll
been a
do
day.
spoilers. It's late
It,
enough. It's late. It's a show. It's
it's been
on
Disney.
Disney
It's on
Plus.
Disney Plus. Yeah,
Let's
and
do it.
so it's an improvement over the first episode. I loved the first episode. I felt like this was even better. I did start to get more of that Winter Soldier vibe in this episode, and I just thought Gravik. I thought he was a badass. He could be up there with MCU Disney Plus villains. The only one who really has to contest him is Harrow from what you call it from Moon Knight. I suppose maybe He Who Remains as well, but he was just in the show for like 15 minutes, so you can't really count that. I loved Fury's conversation on the train with Talos. You know, the story you were telling.
I've seen people praise that scene on the train, but also I've heard people say it's very un-Nick Fury-like.
No, it's not. That is very Nick Fury. The way he tells the story, you pointed out when we was watching it, it's just like the elevator scene in Winter Soldier. Not the elevator scene in Winter Soldier that you all think I'm talking about. Is when him and Cap are going down to the.
I mean, the Winter Soldier's just got great scenes all around wherever he is, you know.
Perfect.
And for some reason, it has two of the best elevator scenes ever.
Yeah.
I think probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, there's the Spider-Man 2, but we'll go into that.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than a 22. A bunch of crumpled ones and a loaded 22 Magnum. But yes,
Do you know what? That's a hot toy scene you need to do.
Yeah. The Skrulls in in the higher levels of society, like we was talking about last time. The British Prime Minister's one. The leader of NATO's one. News media people are all Skrulls. Is Rhodey a Skrull? Best line in the MCU. If Slovakia looks at me like that one more time, I'm going to
on the suit and carpet bomb it.
Yes, that was a quality line. Now it's
Rhodes always is a treat.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Armor Wars.
I'm glad they got made a film as well, but
I can't wait.
I do want to see Rhodey in the suit now in the show.
Maybe it's just a tease.
Maybe later in the show. Maybe.
Can't go wrong with a bit of War
Emilia
Machine.
Clarke was great in this episode again. She's starting to have her doubts now for Gravik. When they're going through the computer to see all the different stuff that they're researching. Groot, Cull Obsidian. I'm pretty sure Extremis are on there as well. So are they trying to make Super Skrulls? And is it Olivia Colman who played when she tortures that Skrull in the meat locker? That was one of the most violent things we've seen in the MCU for a very long time. You just see the finger get cut clean off.
Yeah, and they show it back like the little hole it left.
Yeah, and it's, was it acceptable because the finger turned green after and it was a Skrull finger? You just don't know. But yeah, I am very much on board with this now. I was after the first episode, but I'm now, like we said last week, it was like, yeah, Wednesday can come round, fair enough. Now I'm excited for Wednesdays after this episode.
Yeah.
And one more thing, Kyle. Fury fucks.
Fury does fuck. He fucks aliens apparently. For me, I know we did the quick review. I don't feel like I really really it got sunk in when we watched the first episode. It didn't hit that well for me. I thought the opening scene phenomenal. I thought it was great, and then after that, it kind of just went into generic tone. I didn't get any Winter Soldier vibes. I know I was saying Maria Hill's death. It just feels a bit like,
What do you feel after into the second episode though? Maria's Hill's death. Do you feel like it's a bit more?
yeah, it
Yeah.
they gave weight to it,
The
which
stuff with
is
her mum were fucking powerful.
yeah. I'm glad they did that. That was my one thing. I was like, if they don't make this a powerful thing, the way they ended it, it didn't feel powerful at all. It felt just this character that's been there for years is just dead.
Yeah.
For the sake of the shock factor. Um, but with this, it is got powerful meaning to it. And the train scene. Wow, the train scene. Um, and then obviously getting to see, the high, we're not just hearing about it, we're seeing these sort of higher level scrolls and being into society as these powerful people. Um, so I feel like that kind of connected to the world a lot more, especially for all of us. I think the only thing that this really connected to us with was because it was shot in fucking Leeds. I know we said that before.
Yeah.
It just felt very like distant from what we know today, but now it's really brought it in.
And a great excuse for not getting the Avengers involved.
Mhm. Mhm.
They don't want.
I mean, there ain't really an Avengers,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's it.
you
Because
know,
Gravik's like, they say,
it
what if the Avengers come back? And Gravik's like, you think I
it
haven't thought of that?
it didn't. The thing is, it didn't feel like saying. It didn't feel like a thing of like, well, we need to mention the Avengers, kind of like the Eternals did. It was just like, what about the Avengers? Because the
Yeah.
Avengers is the fucking Avengers kind of thing. So I'm glad they did that. I thought episode 2. I can't lie. Episode 1 wasn't the best for me.
I thought it was a great start, episode 1. But this is really
I, I, I
rolled
I'll
over.
disagree here, but here this is a whole new step up. I wish besides the opening of the first episode, I feel like you can just kind of forget.
Yeah.
Obviously Marie Hill's death. But I feel like you can kind of just. I wish it would start in that really great phase of what episode 2 has started off with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait for the rest of this show to come.
I hope it stays in this level.
Yeah. We might make a separate video on it next week. We might not. It all depends, on time, because we didn't really have time.
On topics as well. Yeah.
We didn't really have time yesterday.
Yeah, because we went to go see. On to our next topic. I know I'm not trying to do the gum sign. I'm trying to do the. Don't get sued. I home in the song. Stop it.
I'm just gonna move you down a bit, man. There we go. Didn't want your Steam name popping up. And all our fans adding you.
It's already popped up.
Has it? Oh well. We'll have to get a new business one. Anyway, yesterday we saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If you haven't seen it already, there's a out of the theatre review on the channel. We did it outside a kebab shop. So yeah, we did have a funny idea. There were some people eating right there. I don't think we had the confidence to do it, but we was just gonna go up and film right in front of them while they were eating the kebab.
I like what we mean is there was obviously it wasn't like it's not like
yeah, just like the
like
glass.
a restaurant, like a takeaway. It was like it's like a proper kebab place that's across from the cinema. It's like you got Pizza Hut, and, all that sort of thing. McDonald's, KFC, all these really nice restaurants, and there was this new doner place that came up. Apparently, it's not that good, but there was it's all like glass, so people are sat next to big glass windows. And I remember going up to it, and it was like, "Oh, we should, we'll film over that sort of way there." And it was like, "Oh, what in front of the people?" And it would have just been like, say, like my little statue here, just like, "Yeah, Indiana Jones was it had some things going for it," while someone was just eating
kebab.
Anyways,
Anyway,
we might do that. Might do that one day.
what did you think of Indiana Jones and Kyle?
Started off really fucking well. really did. It got me thinking, wow, I need to watch the original films. The original films might not
Which is
hit the
you
same
still
way.
should.
Yeah, no, I will. Um, the middle, it still goes pretty well. Uh, the middle goes on for a bit too long and slows down. After it goes on for too long, it slows down, and then the end is just like it changed movies. It were like they had two ideas for this movie. We continue to go in the really crazy bonkers like they did with the ending in the Crystal Skull, where there was fucking aliens in Indiana Jones universe. Um, Others that will keep it kind of grounded but very Indiana Jones. Like I said, I've seen, was it Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
I've seen that. It's
Kalima.
like kind of not brutal but realistic and kind of like this feels like it didn't try juggle both aspects.
Yeah.
It literally went from like glory, beautifully done, great way to honor the Indiana Jones character. I don't know anything about it. When he did his whip on the train at the start of the film, I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And then towards the end of the film, the middle of it was long, boring, and then just completely like Crystal Skull, but longer. Well, for
Yeah.
the end part.
I've I've
Uh,
I thought the beginning of this film were great. That opening in the castle, all the way to the train. I thought that was great. That was so Indiana Jones. So Indiana Jones. But there was some bits in the middle that weren't that good. But then there was little bits throughout the film. Like it did a bit more for me than it did for you because I am a massive Indiana Jones fan, and I love these films. Um, but I said it when we got out of the cinema. It's too late. This film came out too late, and if they didn't have a good enough story for it, I really think they shouldn't have done it. But I know they had to do something with this property because they bought Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm is Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So they were gonna do something with it no
yeah,
matter what.
but they didn't have to like extend the whole bullshit Crystal Skull shit where it was like completely bonkers. They had the film is proof of that. The start of the film was fucking awesome. I loved it. I thought like if this is Indiana Jones, I can't wait for the entire movie. I
Yeah,
thought this, if anything, it's gonna like dip a little bit, and then just kind of be fine and great. This film kind of like it goes, it's up high, kind of dips down a bit, and it just kind of goes right. And the way this movie ends as well, it doesn't really give a clear picture of like me as a bit of an outsider to the Indiana Jones character. Um, Obviously, I know there's references there that I don't understand. I get that, but it shouldn't feel like to me, even though I'm a fresh viewer,
yeah,
a movie should be able to tailor to everybody. I know that sounds a bit controversial, but it should. Realistically, it's a movie. If it needs to make money. It needs to appeal to people that haven't seen it or haven't seen the previous ones, or even new to the franchise like me. Um, so yeah, with this, it just feels like it kind of just ends, and it it doesn't make it clear that this is the final Indiana Jones movie. I think it is.
yeah. No, it
It just
definitely is.
I
Harrison
think
Ford ain't coming back now.
I think it is, yeah, but it doesn't make it very clear. It just ends at like nothing happened.
Now, I thought Harrison Ford were great in this. I thought Mads Mikkelsen were great in it. Even Toby Jones in his little role, Adam Zola himself. I thought he were good in it. Um, I didn't mind. I didn't mind Phoebe, but her character wasn't that great. It was a little bit annoying at times. Um,
I wouldn't say overly annoying or anything like that. It was just like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? I mean, I like the kid that she was with. I liked him more than her, and that was quite surprising. I thought he was going to be,
Annoying.
let's be realistic. I thought he was going to be a little annoying, but you know,
Yeah, no, he had a
he wasn't.
badass scene, which I won't say, when it goes through, not going to say it, just going to say water and handcuffs.
I mean, the ending bit where that was just fucking convenience. Like that was just to explain away.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't explain that. He enters a casino. 5 minutes later, it's fucking daytime. You know,
But,
don't explain that. Don't explain the whole going down in the boat thing. Oh, conveniently, the same exact minute, these guys show up
yeah.
in the middle of fucking nowhere.
But if you had to give it a number rating, Kyle, what are you giving it out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 5, but I'll give it a 6 because of the opening.
You're going higher than me.
Uh,
I'm going 5.5.
I'm in, yeah. That's the thing. I'm like 6 because of the opening, and then I look at the whole film as a whole, and it's like it's probably like a 4. Yeah,
But
yeah. I'm 4, 5, and 6, somewhere in between. I'll say 5.
yeah. Anyway, that's just our little review of Indiana Jones. If you're an indie fan, see it.
I agree.
There will be stuff in there that you will enjoy, and you'll think, oh hell yeah, they've done that. They've done that.
If
But
you're not an indie fan, go watch the opening. Don't go see it in IMAX. Just pay like the cheaper ticket for the not so good screen. Once the opening scene is done and we get to see Indy as he is now, walk out cinema, go watch the original films.
yeah, no, definitely. But that being said, we've still got the originals. It don't ruin the originals.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to add. There is a scene that I really enjoyed on a boat, and it was very emotional. I thought, when he's talking about his son. Now we won't get into it, but it just shows you why Harrison Ford's been around for so long, because he's a fantastic actor. But anyway, 5.5 from me. So I think that'll wrap it up today. Kyle, anything you want to add before we go?
Well, tomorrow I'm planning on. Sounds a bit cringy, a little bit. I'm doing TikTok, but I'm doing TikTok for Movies and Beyond. So from now on, we'll probably add it in into our previous videos. Check out our TikTok. It's gonna be edited videos. We've got a video idea. We've filmed it. We just don't know if it's gonna be any good. It might just be something we can look at personally. It depends on if it'll get edited. If it's content worthy, we'll edit and release it. If it's not, we'll shoot something else. We'll do something new. But it's kind of like our shorts video. We did a little shorts video. Well, Callum did one out of the blue. I finished work. I saw it. Thinking, what the fuck is this? And I don't know if it was just because it's like a personal thing or whatever. I don't think it was. I just found it fucking funny. I thought it was hilarious. And it surprised me. So this has really given me a kick up the arse that we can do this sort of thing. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be head of the TikTok side of things. I'm gonna do videos as much as I can. I'm gonna try to edit as much as I can. So that'll be starting tomorrow. And like I said, we'll leave a link if you want to follow that. We'd appreciate it. Because it'll be a bit more with these videos. We tend to be a little bit serious, and we like to talk about movies and stuff. And obviously, we
Yeah,
do like to but off camera. As soon as we turn the camera off, we make jokes. We have a good time. We piss about. I think we've only really hinted at that in our videos, so this will be a good way to express that. So,
yeah,
if it's content worthy, we'll upload it. If it's not, we won't. Simple as.
definitely. Yes, definitely. Just a quick one. Have you got anything in mind for Fairy Dome tomorrow?
You have to wait and see.
All right then.
Which means I have no fucking idea.
All right then. But yeah. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother.
Comment. Let us know what you think about
Comment.
Indiana Jones
Comment.
and Secret
Secret
Invasion.
Invasion.
I'm genuinely wanting to know what people think. If it's just a us thing where we thought, like, 'cause I know Callum liked the first episode. I didn't that much. I'd hold it on the lower end. But the second episode, it really stepped it up for both of us. So,
Let us
interesting
know what you
see.
think about Barbie vs Nukes. Let us know what you think about Evan Peters being in Tron 3. But don't let us know what you think about the Dune trailer because we already know you're going to say it's amazing. Anyway, that'll do for today. I'm tired as fuck. Kyle's got anal beads, and I'll see you later.